What's up, everybody? Russian Danny here with another episode of It's All Bad. First of all, I want to thank everybody for sticking through these trying times with us. And I know it's weird, and I know we haven't been able to post episodes regularly, but we will get back to that shortly with the whole Zoom thing and guests and not being able to do it in person. It's become a little more difficult to us, but we are working hard on getting more episodes, more merch, and more cool content stuff on Patreon for you guys. So, with that said, let's get right into it. This week's guest is a very good friend of mine who, oh, brother, has gone from being a Scante warrior to being a warrior of recovery. This guy has done so much for me personally by helping me out. With acting stuff. He's cast me in some short films, and he's just all around a really solid dude. My boy Hassan. So we're really stoked to have him here with us tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy.
I'm good. Oh my God, what's good? Yeah, hell yeah. I'm good, man. We just you know that what's up, Michael?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm still here, still standing.
Hassan, you go to work every day, don't you?
Not really, actually, dude. I'm kind of built for this quarantine shit. I stay at home and I work like 4 hours a week.
Oh.
So I spend the rest of my time writing movies, reading movies, and doing jujitsu and like staying at home reading. I don't fuck with nobody.
What's your favorite movie you've ever seen, Hassan?
Platoon.
Really?
Yeah. Can I tell you all my favorite movie list? Like I'm ready, locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys,
yes,
you ready?
absolutely.
Michael, do you approve of this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. We got Platoon, first favorite movie of all time in the whole wide world. We got Glory, number 2. We got
Strong.
Last of the Mohicans, number 3.
One of the most underrated films of all time. Fucking amazing film.
We got Fight Club, number 4. Gladiator, 5. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner, 6.
I'm out.
No! Dude, they will never make movies like that again. And then,
No, you're absolutely right, and I got a soft spot for Costner. I love the Cos. I can't help it. I know he's a dick. Everybody says he's a shitty guy, but I don't give a shit. I love him.
You got The Matrix, Good Will Hunting, and I stop there.
You know what's fun? Well, it's interesting. You really like war movies, it sounds like.
I'm obsessed.
Interesting. Kevin Costner's best movie is No Way Out. That one from like 1980. Do you remember that?
So fucking good, man.
Fucking masterpiece.
Dude,
Whoa.
it's literally one of those perfect films.
It's
Okay.
Like
perfect.
it's like when you watch Silence of the Lambs. You're like, Jesus Christ, this is a perfect film. It's just perfect.
Silence of the Lambs should be on that list, on the
Yeah.
Hassan list.
I mean, even whether you like it or not, it's just like one of those technically script performances, everything. Like there's not a weak moment in it. And you're
It's
like,
fantastic. It's fucking incredible. Maybe it's from
No.
like 1982. It's really old.
But anyways, welcome back to another episode of It's All Bad.
What's up, Mike?
Hi,
What's up,
this is
Keith?
Mike here.
What
We
up?
Got Keith there.
I'm Russian Danny, and we got a very special guest for you tonight. My boy Hassan.
Howdy.
Dude.
For some reason, I thought Hassan was going to work every day. Maybe it was from Instagram. I don't know where the fuck I got that from, but
Dude, no. I'm the one guy. Everyone trips out because I'm here, there, everywhere, but never at work. Like, never.
I like that.
Never. Like, literally, I get the most shit because, like, people are like, what do you do? And I got one of these fucking makeshift businesses, you know, where like I haven't paid the LLC. I got, honestly, it's a life skills mentor company. It's actually life skills mentor teaching diet, fitness, and meditation.
Oh,
oh,
wow. I like it.
I'm drinking an oat milk smoothie. Whoever fucking knew that that's what we might drink one day.
Not me, ever, no.
Dude, I think about that all the time.
What
Like
the
when I'm
fuck?
Bro, I'm
drinking
on
almond milk or some
hey,
shit.
I show up at Earth Bar and they're like, Danny, where you been? We missed you. You know, like, hey, double, you know, they all know my drinking shit. They see me coming and they start blending my shit. You know, it's so crazy. I showed up there like a few weeks ago and they're like, cause I order really late and then like I'll get there right as they close and the owner was like, hey, come inside. You know, like Danny, I need to talk to you. And I was like, fuck, they're gonna cut me off for like ordering late and showing up all, you know. Like, and sometimes if they close and they won't even charge me for the smoothie, and he's like, I need to talk to you. And he literally pulls me inside. I'm like, fuck, this is going to be bad, you know? Like, and he's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, we're starting this new pilot program. Like, we have a beta test on our phone app. You can order it like through the fucking app now, and we'll give you points so you get free smoothies. Like, we want to include you on the beta test at the fucking smoothie place. I'm like, you know, if you would have told
Cloud
me,
had the redefinition of cloud.
That was a smoothie test dummy. Hell yeah.
No.
and I'm all stoked. I'm all excited about it. I'm like, hell yeah, you know?
Dude, I was talking today with somebody about Dave. You know Dave's bread?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's
Dave's
just
Killer
the guy's a marketing genius. Puts a picture of himself with some stupid guitar on the bread, and all of a sudden he's got the best fucking bread. Like, it's bread. You know what I mean? It's still bread. It's not like it's like, they don't even call it anything like diet or health food, or it's just bread with Dave. All right. I'm a nut for one of the, they have certain bread, and I was literally talking to someone about it, like today, like just an 88-year-old man talking about bread and the bread that I like. And then my friend, our mutual friend, David, said, bro, you know you're talking to me about bread, right? And I was like, yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's no Clark
Favorite
Street.
bread?
No,
Yeah, Clark
it's
Street.
no Clark Street. No.
What's your favorite bread, though?
In all the world?
No, just from Dave's guitar bread.
Oh, I like that seed, that good seed.
That's what my baby mama said. She called me a sperm donor. She said you got that good
It
seed.
sounded bad when I said it, and he's got to maybe rename it. So maybe the marketing isn't great, because I don't really need to ask for bread that sounds like sperm.
Yeah, big shout out to Clark Street, dude, with the smacker monkey bread, and thanks Russian Danny for fucking cooking me on the bread. Now I can't shit right, dude. I fucked up. I'm all clogged up. Need some dynamite.
I don't even know what Clark Street is.
Oh, Keith, do you fuck with bread? Do you fuck with
Not
pastries?
much. Yeah,
You should.
I fuck with pastries a lot.
Treat yourself, dude. Keith, you got to treat yourself. They have their main stores on Glendale and Temple, like just south of Temple, you know. But now they have like a little. They have one at Grand Central Market. They have one like right up the street from me, and they just opened in Brentwood. I'll tell you how fucking crazy I am. I went to all 4 of them in 1 week. All 4 fucking locations. That's
Do you go
fucked
there to
up,
get
right?
bread or pastries?
I mean, I go there to get cold brews. They have they have an avocado toast with a toad in the hole. Like, it's crazy, you know? And we go there to get bread because it's the best bread. And it's like right up the street, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
Does
so
Vic
fire.
like it?
The best bread. Vic loves it.
Yeah, it's out. Isn't that at what's his name's place, right? That
What's
fancy that guy, Clark Street Hill. Yeah. Anyways, meep.
Yeah.
Hassan, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in West LA. Like I grew up on Sawtell and National. Up until I was 5, I grew up in Sotel, and then I moved to Culver City, like what is now the Arts District. But I moved there in 91. I was born in 86, so I moved there in 91. And as you know, everything was just different in 91, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah.
How did you and Danny meet?
Dude, I met Danny at, okay, so 2 years sober. I catch a case in sobriety. Go to jail. It was really for some old shit, but it was basically I had body armor that I wasn't supposed to have with gang graffiti on it. And I got busted for it in a raid when I had 30 days sober. And then basically they came and busted me. They let me go, but they actually booked me for a year later. After I took my 1 year cake, they came back and fucking
No way.
And I had a joint suspension.
Just for the body armor?
Just for the body armor, because I had two gun cases, and I was on gang probation, gang terms. I'm not even from a gang. I'm just a turned up tagger, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just a tagger that thinks he's a gangster, but like, you know what I mean? Just one of those. So, but like all the gang shit was happening. Like put me on. It's like I made it, you know what I mean? Almost, you know?
Yeah.
But they had me on gang probation, and then they hit me, body armor, but I had fucking graffitied on the body armor, which was not smart. And then they took it, and they were like, just know that we got this. And I was like, cool, I'm sober now, you know? And then they came and booked me for it like 8 months later. Literally, like I was living my life fucking free and clean. Hey, it was the first time I had ever gone legit in Alcoholics Anonymous, like full on, no shady shit. And I was in the sunlight of the spirit, guys. Like I was like feeling God, and then boom, they came and got me, and it was fucked up. But I came home. I did 2 months, and then the people in AA raised money for me. They raised fucking money. People I've never even met, and they got me a lawyer. My homeboy Sporty got me his criminal defense lawyer, and I fucking can't beat the case. So I did the 2 months, sponsored guys in there. It was crazy. Like, and then I opened up a coffee shop called Cacao that existed in the 90s and like early 2000s, and they closed Cacao down. So I reopened Cacao with a friend of mine. And then he was all like, no, it was on Santa Monica and fucking Federal over there in West LA. And Cacao was one of those coffee shops that was like, it was like a cult coffee shop. It was open till 2 a.m. You could smoke cigarettes inside. It was like that. And the dude, Cody McMain, good friend of mine, who bought and owned Cacao, was opening up a new coffee shop with an interesting business partner. And that coffee shop was going to be called Grounded Cafe, next door to a rehab called CRLA.
No way.
Yeah.
I've been to that coffee shop. Yep. And so I became the operations director of that coffee shop. I had just come home though from that little 2-month county jail bid, right? Just very small, but like so small and so intense. But I came home, and I ended up working at Cacao for a little bit, and then we opened up Grounded. And that's when they just built that whole little fucking fraudulent rehab, like crazy empire. Hey, we would get amounts of $800,000 in the fucking coffee shop bank account, and then for one day, and then it'd be gone the next.
No way.
Oh my God.
Our coffee shop would get 800 grand, and then it'd be out, and then like 90 grand, 70 grand, and then just gone.
But because Batham was just pulling it all out?
Yeah, or they were writing checks from the coffee shop. Like, it was all kinds of shit. But I just went to make coffee, man. Coffee is my other business aside from, I'm one of those filmmakers that will do random jobs. Like, I was a PA for 4 years, but I PA'd after the feds shut down Grounded Cafe. But that's where I met Russian Danny. Russian Danny, though, like I had seen his crew up RTH and probably his tags all over the place, and I knew merch, and we knew a lot of the same people. But that's where I met him. He had come in through the doors of fucking Grounded and was looking so rough.
So hurt.
Dude.
That's where I met him. And Gilbert Trejo was there as well. And and Gilbert like recognized Danny. Him and I were talking about some shit, and it was just like they reconnected, and that's where I met Danny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I must have
Oh,
been 2 weeks sober, you know?
Oh, I didn't know you guys met sober. I thought you guys knew each other from graffiti.
No, we should have.
We definitely should have, yeah.
What was your drug of choice, Hassan?
So I'm an alcoholic. I'm a real alcoholic. I love drinking. I love Hennessy. I love Patron. I love like drinking, and then I do a little coke. It starts with a bump. I rock it up, and then but I really, really also like twirling that Pookie.
Oh, that pipa.
And getting gandered out of my brains. But I drink when I smoke meth. So like I'm like super glizzoed and I'm fucking swerved. And I've been doing like jujitsu for a long time, and like I'm gun savvy, so I become that guy. I'm already that guy without God. You know what I mean? Like dead sober. I'm the guy. And so, but when you sprinkle fucking meth on me and some E&J, it's like, dude, it's really bad for everybody. Like I'm going to die type vibe. Don't care. We're all gonna, if we're not getting shot at or like returning, exchanging, return, you know what I mean? If it's something isn't super active, then like this is not a good time. Like we have to turn up the heat. So
There's something about speed makes you want the drama, you know?
Oh, dude. It makes everything dramatic. Like it just makes shit cinematic, right? Like all of a sudden, I like the booze in it, you know, and that. It was always tempered. I couldn't just, I could if it was like work, if I had to go like paint a room or something somewhere or whatever wackadoo jobs I had. But like, you know, that's one thing. But for recreation, I like to temper it. And then, you know, a few hours of that, and you're just fucking hammered and going 90 miles an hour. It's not a good combo.
You know, and that it's so interesting because, like, all right, so I first got sober when I was 17, and that was from booze and crack, smoking little primos back in the day, and then I had started to do meth, and then I had got like a year sober twice, but I have the crime bug, you know what I mean? Like I'm addicted to like lifestyle issue. I have lifestyle problems, dude. It's fucking, you know, like I'm all about the underworld. And so I would get sober for like a year, but never switched up the lifestyle at all. In fact, I used my sobriety to enhance my criminality. And I was like stoked on it. Like I'm looking at my partners, I'm like, I'm sober. And I thought it was so cool. I thought it was so cool that I could do what they did with a cup of coffee. And then I got loaded. But how I got loaded, I was like, I'm just gonna drink a beer and nothing's gonna happen. That's what I told myself. I was like, I'm just gonna drink a beer. I'm not gonna smoke meth. I'm not gonna do crack. And somehow, like, I was able to like keep the meth away for 4 years and keep the crack away for 2. But like I slowly downward spiraled back to like all of the old ganders. But it took 4 years. I was like hella proud of myself. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, damn, dude, I hacked it for a good 4 straight after the relapse. You know, I had 16 months sober and I relapsed and I stayed out for 4 years. And I was like, that's pretty good. It's a good run. And didn't get killed or catch life.
Yeah, that's a great run.
That's a pretty good run, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's because we know fools that, like, you know, they'll go out for 2-3 days, you know, and they're like, I need to get sober again. You know, that's something Keith and I always talk about where it's like, where it's like they just ain't go, you know, like they're not hitting the bottom, you know, and then I've seen it now where it's like they're just not, you know, they're not willing to go to any length to fucking do the work, and then they're like, oh, I can't, you know, and then they're back doing the same shit, you know.
Yeah, man. No, I get it. But what's crazy? So, but like the preferred cocktail, if we're talking about, because in that 4 years, there were times when I would just like, for the first 2 years, I drank and did a little bit of coke, you know what I mean? But I was training, you know, I was doing jiu-jitsu, I was doing sports, I was running, I was working out, and I was trying to do everything to like keep my alcoholism at bay. But at the end of the day, like, I'll always catch myself on Lake and 8th crawling up the fucking fire hole crawling up the asshole of this apartment building, you know what I mean? And like buying crack and getting head from hookers that now like I wouldn't touch with the 10-foot pole, you know what I mean? Like weird strain, not the hot ones, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
After a certain hour and after you're in a certain condition, the hot ones disappear.
Yeah. After a certain hour.
None of them are hot. And it's convenient because at that point it doesn't really matter. So you'd just be wasting money on the hot ones. Really, you'd be paying extra.
Gets a little lower, you know?
Yeah.
I think the hot ones disappear between 7:30 a.m. and like 11 a.m. Like, if you catch anything between 7:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m., bro, it's all bad.
I hate to break it to you, but the hot ones are gone by 4. No, just kidding.
4 p.m.?
No. I have just found, all I can say is that in the day, I have definitely found myself just like, wow, you look so different 5 feet away.
Yeah, I've got lucky though before, dude. Lucky in terms of swooped up something real pretty off Figueroa at like 8 in the morning, but then got robbed. So it was
You want to tell us about this story?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear about this story?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Actually, sometimes I use it in a pitch depending how fucking humble and confident I'm feeling. But this story, honestly, it's a good one because like it was like 2010. And so I had just moved back from MacArthur Park. I was staying on Parkview and 8th. And I had moved back home to my mom and dad's over there in the Culver City Art District by Helms Avenue, Venice and Robertson.
Sure.
Washington and National, by the old Fedco, Jefferson, La Cienega, like that whole area. And, you know, I sold coke, weed, lean, just anything that I could sell, I would sell it. And I had some money. But I had just moved back to my mom and dad. So like the deal was if I was gonna stay at home, I like had to be sober or like, you know, try and be sober or something. It had to be like that was but I had a trap house over by the Culver City projects, like literally off Slauson and Braddock. And the dude whose house it was built me an office in his closet. He knocked down the walls of like his closet. Legit, you open this mirror closet into my fucking Narnia. And
No way.
Yeah, I had a desk, a leather rolly chair, a little ottoman. He put fucking cabinets in there. Dude, it was awesome. Light.
A tweaker dude, right?
Yeah. And we really, this dude just guzzled Pop-Off. Just like gnarly out. He just guzzled Pop-Off all day long.
Oh.
And he smoked weed. So I'd give him weed and I'd sometimes if I needed to house like a hooker, I like house them there with him and he'd be stoked. But so I'm at home, I'm asleep. I don't know if I'm watching Game of Thrones or something on HBO, and I'm not sleeping, I'm trying to go to bed. And I got like 1 or 2 days sober, and my mom comes out, and this was a thing that would always happen with my mom, is that my mom was just so nervous that I was going to die in the street. And I had a thing for like, hey, I'm going to bed. And then, you know, I get a bright idea and I leave the house, you know, and then I'm gone for fucking 17 days or a year, you know,
7.
Never planned on it.
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah. I always honestly and this is the best part of the alcoholism is that I always planned on like being back in a few hours. Like, oh, I'm just gonna get a little high and come back. And I remember that night my mom came out. I was on the couch watching some shit on HBO, petting my cat, and my mom was like, "Hey, are you staying in tonight? Like, what are you doing?" I was like, "Yes, Mom. Like, I'm going to bed. I love you." And I looked her in the eyes. I told her I loved her, and I really fucking meant it with every fiber of my being. And she went to sleep, And then I reached over the couch and grabbed my Jägermeister. Don't know why I had Jaeger. I don't drink Jaeger, but I had Jägermeister for some reason, and I was just sipping it all night. And next thing you know, I was a little swerved, and I was like, you know what I should do before I go to bed is I should get my car, sneak out, go to the fucking trap house, and cook up 1 gram of crack. Just one.
Just a gram.
Smoke it before I go to bed. And I was like, checks out. Just 1 gram, few hits, come back home, go to sleep, boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. See you, Mom, in the morning. Hey, you know what I mean? So I leave. I go and I cook the fucking rock. I smoke the gram. I smoke 2, and then I'm on back pages. No, I'm on back pages searching for the best deal, dude.
What's that?
Yeah, the back pages.
Is that some sort of a magazine or?
Oh, yeah, it's the best Craigslist that ever existed.
Yeah, exactly.
The fucking Wild West,
dude.
And I'm looking, dude. The different, because how you search shit in the search engine. So I'm getting a call from. Okay, so I'm smoking the rocks. I'm typing every kind of like twofer, late night special, go Greek, you know what I mean? Party. I'm like typing in all the shit to see like what chicks come out. Cause like really what I want to do is I just want to fucking get high with a hot girl. And like I'm down to pay her to chill. I just want, and then see where it goes from there. Like that's what I'm looking for. I want to fucking get high and get weird. And I'm searching. I'm like, yo, fuck this. I need to go down to Figueroa, okay? But by the time I make it to the Blade, it's like 6:30 a.m., 7. All the hotties are gone. There's only stragglers now, and I'm drinking warm fucking Budweiser. The sun is poking from the buildings, man. It's slicing the fucking air. The Metro Rapid is moving with people on it, and they're going to work. And I'm rolling around in circles, right? And they want to fucking see your dick. Here's the fucking great Bambino. They want to see your cock, right?
They do.
To make sure that you're not Vice.
Yeah.
Now, I'm already just like in between a 5 and a 6, or, depending on where we measure. If we go beneath the balls, I could be like 6.5, 7. If we're going from the top, it's weird. There's different ways to measure your dick. You know what I mean? But crack dick on this morning was not feeding me, guys. Okay, it was shriveled, and I was rolling around with the zipper down because I knew they were going to ask me, and I was like kind of trying to stretch it out because it was so shriveled. I didn't want them to think I had a little dick, you know what I mean? So I'm rolling around. I'm rolling around in circles, dude, and I'm fucking drinking this warm Budweiser, and my zipper's down, and I have a knife, and I'm trying to stretch the monkey to make it appear bigger, right?
Yeah.
And every girl that I do talk to is like, you know what I mean? Like JCat alert, fucking full on.
No
way. Yeah, like straight up. I look like a serial killer, bro. Like that's how they start, dude. I've been now listening to every serial killer podcast, and like it just starts like that, dude. Minus the meth. They're doing it dead ass sober, but
yeah.
And so I see a beautiful Latina. I don't know why I said it, that Latina, and in a sundress. Okay, she was fucking hot. I couldn't believe it. And she was going up, and I was like, oh my God. And I fucking pulled over. And I talked
Where are you
to her.
at, Figueroa, and what?
I'm like in Figueroa and 60s. Figueroa and 60th, around there.
Okay.
And And she's like, yo, get a room up the street. I'll meet you up the street. And she talks to some black chick, some like big ass, like lesbian black chick who's like, is her pimp. I didn't know, but whatever. She met me at the room, okay? And she's hot up close. And I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. But I get weird. I'm like, yo, don't start the time yet, okay? I want to just talk for a little bit. Like, let me just talk and chill. Like, don't start the time. I'll pay you. Like, it's all good. And I got to, like, set up the room, and I get my beer. I'm drinking my beer. I'm like, hiding and stashing all of my shit. And she's, like, on the bed. And she's like, hey, what's up? Like, want me to give you head? And I'm like, no. Like, just chill. Like, I just want to talk for a second. Just like drink my beer. Like, just she was down and ready, bro. And then I get this light bulb moment, and I'm like, wait, can you get more rock? Can you get more hard right now? She's like, yeah, I can. My girl down there, the fucking black chick, she's, yeah, what do you need? I was like, I need 100 sack. Because I had money. Because, like, well, I'll tell you about the job that I had to go to after. But I had money, and so I was like, wait right here, I'll be right back. And I go downstairs to give her pimp the $100 to get me the 100 sack. And she's like, for sure, I'll be right back. She takes off with the 100. I go back to the room, but baby girl in the sundress is not there.
Oh man,
she's gone. And I waited in the fucking peephole for so long. She never came back, and that's when I got in my car, and I was like, I'm gonna stab this bitch. On God, I don't give a fuck. She fucked up. She got the wrong person. I'm not the one. So I got in my car, started rolling around, looking for her, because I was just gonna book her in the street, like straight, just broad daylight. What's right is right. You stole from me, you have to fucking bleed. And so I'm driving around looking for her, ready to just book her, and I'm jumping out on every Latina girl who fits the description. And keep in mind, I've not gone to bed. I'm delusional. I'm like smoked the fuck out, and I'm jumping out on the wrong women. Okay. And I'm like, have you seen
no way.
I'm like, have you seen so and so? Got the knife out, and my zipper's still down, guys. I'm still trying to stretch out the little bambino, so that, because, like, what if girl I just pulled a knife out on, who isn't the girl who robbed me, is down to go to Momo, and we could try and do another version of this. So I jump out on the wrong chick. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck away from me. And I was like, I want to go down the street, and
want to go down the street? Hey, would you like to go down the street? I got this knife.
Yeah, knife out, zipper down. It's like now 8:30 in the morning. The beer is warmer than daylight. And dude, this is like a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Shit like this was happening all the fucking time. And then I had to go to work because I ran this grow op for my homeboy who was he was locked up in the county. He had I don't know if it wasn't a 200 lighter. It was like a 100 lighter. But still, like 100 lights back then in downtown was pretty good.
Yeah, really good.
And they were growing OG and Bubba and some sour diesel for the New York guys. And so I ran his like multi-million-dollar grow operation. And I had to like go there directly after that. I was like, I have to go and pay the trimmers, and the growers have to get their nutrients and like just start whopping people out fat sums of money. And I would like change into like business casual. So I fucking got busted for a lot of things, man. Guys, I wore glasses, and I had a briefcase and dressed business casual. But that was the hooker story with Latina in the sundress. And it started out with, Mom, I'm going to bed. I swear to God, I love you. Good night.
Oh, man.
And the Jägermeister. Like, what if I would have caught her and blasted her in the street? Like, I'd be doing life,
Yeah.
Oh. For fucking some straight weirdo shit.
Oh,
Dude,
I
that's
hate
I
Jaeger.
didn't
nothing
even
good
get the blow job, guys.
ever
Well,
happened.
you tried.
Probably would've gave me a wowie with no rubber. On God, like she looked like she was just down to have fun, dude. Just like being a fucking butterfly on Figueroa.
It sounds like it might have been a setup, right?
I don't know, man. It could have been. It's not the first time I got jacked either.
By a
Got in a
hooker?
high-speed pursuit. Yeah, I got a high-speed pursuit. And fucking Mulholland. I got robbed by a team. They were posing as they were same guy who I worked for. It was his, like, he had a huge house in Bel Air, top of Benedict Canyon, and I was there. And I called a girl off Backpage, and the girl that showed up wasn't the girl from the picture, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, she was not the girl from the picture. But I was like, yeah, fuck it, come inside, you know? And I'm telling you, God or the universe is real, because I usually had a firearm on me at like most of the time at that time. Most of the time. And I don't know why, but I didn't have a firearm on me, or there was not one in the house that day, which is crazy. But she comes in and she's asking how many people are in the house, and I'm totally like, I just want to have fun, you know what I mean? Like I don't have coke dick right now, you know, like I'm ready. I'm like, you want a drink, you know? I'm so enthusiastic about her, and she's just like scoping out the whole spot, how many rooms, how many other people are here, and I don't think anything of it. And then she's like, yo, I need $300, and then tip me whatever I make, whatever 300 goes to the agency. That's what she said. She's like, $300 goes to the agency. And typically that's how it works. Like their fee, they're like the agency will collect 300. They usually have a driver. And she's like, anything that I make will be what you tip me. So she's like, you want to tip me 150? I was like, whoa. I just gave you $300. I'm not fucking tipping you yet. You know what I mean? Fucking sat down, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, I got to give the money to my driver. Okay? Just give me 1 second. So she steps out for a second. The driver comes to the door. He gives her the money. She closes the door. And I'm just like thinking, I'm waiting, I'm like stoked, and then boom, I see just tail lights and they take off. And the one thing I noticed was their back window had been blown out or shot out, like it had a garbage bag in their back window. And
No way.
I chased them, dude. I got in the car and I caught them on Mulholland, but I only had a crowbar. But they didn't know what I had. If I, you know, like another like God shot that I didn't have nothing else on me because I was stupid. Like it could have been so much worse. And I chased them from Mulholland and Beverly Glen until 405 and Sunset. But it was like they were blowing lights. Like they were really trying to get away.
Fuck.
I honestly wish I had a gun for that one, guys. I would have got away with it, or just at least fucking blew out the rest of their fucking back
That's
windows,
the
you know?
thing. It's like whenever they girls show up and they aren't that was why Craigslist blew up, right? Because people were tired of dealing with that, right? And like girls thought that they could just get on there and do that. And then obviously it became fucking dangerous. Like there's a reason why people have pimps. It's a dangerous business. And you're dealing with fucking people at, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You don't know what they're going to do. But the moment you hear that, like, how many people are here? Just like, oh, damn. Why do you care? If you wanted to stay, that wouldn't be a problem.
It's such a free-for-all. You know what I mean? It's such a, because it's dangerous for the people working, and then the buyers are equally as dangerous, because then from that point on, and then after the fucking sundress girl, I started setting up early perimeters. Like before they'd come, I started hiding in bushes with the blower, with the gun, just to see who they were bringing. You know, like I hella early, and then I scared those off. But yeah, man, I'm that guy.
Frustrating.
What's the longest you've ever stayed awake, Hassan?
Oh, 4 days. I had a limit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 4 days. 4 days I had a limit, dude. I would, like, day one is cool because you're lit, and I'm always drinking, and this is like towards 2000. Let's say I got sober 2013, so 2009 is when I got like loaded, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna be committed to this shit, right? And so around 2000, and I had mentioned I stayed away from crystal, I managed to just keep it away, and the people involved in that world, I kept it away for years. And then I tried to get sober in like 2010 or 11 a few times, but it was like I was like the 1 week guy, you know. 1 week, 2 weeks, one, just like whatever, that guy. And then I got sober for 2 months. I pulled off 2 months, and then I got loaded going on a date. I didn't know how to go on a date, guys. I didn't know how to date sober. I went on a date with some girl, and we went to a bar, and I drank a shot of Patron and a Corona. That's when things were nice, when you could just have a shot of Patron and a Corona, nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
Oh, what a crazy! And just to think that nothing bad could happen, but like, you know, but then I was like, oh shit, I'm loaded. Well, I gotta start making money again. And so I went to like all the connects I had to re-up. And for some reason, when I was like just picking and choosing what I wanted to sell, I got an 8-ball of crystal meth. Don't know why. Had no clients for it or nothing. I was just like, hey, let me get an 8-ball of that too. And sure enough, I sat on that 8-ball, had that meth in the safe for 3 months. Didn't look at it, didn't fucking. And then one day I did a line. I did a line, and that was in 2011. And so I would say shortly after that, I was smoking. I met some girl, and the girl who was just like, she was the femme fatale, you know what I mean? She was half Japanese, half white, educated, Jewish, and just a fucking freak. And she smoked gander. She smoked heroin. She was a fucking thief. Like, just, she would set anybody up. She's a fucking straight G. And she could like beat dudes up. So crazy and hot. Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
And so, but 4 days is the max. Like, one day I'm up, I'm on, I'm drinking, and I'm making moves. Like, I'm able to fucking, I usually didn't like to do 4-day runs. I would like to try and go to bed because I was still making money. But I was like, it got to that point where like I was doing dope, like doing crystal, drinking, but like I was able to pull in money and have a spot to stay. It was that kind of vibe, right? Like I was able to hack it for a good, while doing crystal meth for about a year until I got busted. But the 4-dayers would happen, you know what I mean? But I didn't like them. I really didn't, because I would feel gross, and then I would have to sleep, and then I'd be like, fuck this, I'm not drinking or doing meth for 5 days. And then I'd get on my high horse, I'd self-will 5 days sober, and then just judge all of my peers and all of my comrades and associates for them just like not taking a 5-dayer, for them not taking a 5-day break, because I never got strung out on dope, you know? and I used that ability to like self-will 5 days in the middle of like fully being a tweaker. I thought I had something special, like a gift. But I hated the 4 days. But on day 4, it's rough. Like I'm looking rough. I'm oily. And at that point in time, from 2011, or let's say all of 2000, the end of 2011, but basically all of 2012, 2011 and 2012, I was smoking crystal regularly. I drink straight liquor, and I never didn't have the gun. I stayed with it. And so it also had like, I like my brain became warped because we were trying to turn my crew into a neighborhood. We wanted it to be a gang, like a legit gang with the homies.
Yeah.
So like my whole MO changed, and I just became everything.
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, I changed.
House, yeah.
Yeah. And but yeah, 4 days was the max. I got homies though that were staying up 6-7 days, and they were just losing it. I would lose it, but I would just be on like, I would lose it not in the sense that I was seeing like airplanes and shit, and fucking FBI agents were following me, but I would just like, I was on edge and real hot headed and like ready to just kind of go like all the way on whoever, whatever, for whatever. You know, I was really fucking, I was the guy just like tripping. Just fucking tripping. Like,
What's the longest you stayed awake, Danny?
Oh man, I don't know. I was just thinking about that. Like, I don't know. It's I think at least Sasha would probably know better. I think at least 6. 6, maybe 7, maybe longer. But I would do this thing where like I'd be awake for so long, and I'd be like, I need to keep pushing. I need to keep pushing. I need to keep pushing. And I didn't have a car, so I was always like, if I didn't have a ride and I needed to be somewhere, or like go pick up or drop off or go like come up on some shit, I would walk out and I'd go fucking catch a bus or the train or whatever, or a cab or Uber, like Uber, when it didn't matter. I needed to get to where I was going, and like I remember being on Hollywood and Highland. I was up for, at least 5, maybe 6 days, and I'm waiting, and I get to Hollywood and Highland, and I'm waiting for the 217, and I'm like, I'm gonna get on that bus. I'm gonna get on that bus. I'm gonna get on that bus. And the sun has yet to come up. It's still dark out, and I would just remember standing there and being like, all right. And like you look and you see the bus coming, and it's not the 217, it's the 212. And then you're like, oh, fuck, and then you see another bus coming, and you're like, all right, that's the 217. And it's like the 170, and it just ends right there, the 181, whatever it is, And that motherfucker ends, and you're like, this is fucked up. And then you finally see it, and I would like see the bus hit the corner at Hollywood and Highland, and like be like, that's my bus. I'm going to make it there. I'm good, And then next thing I know, like, I like blink, and I just see the motherfucker going, and just like zooming by.
Where were you going?
I don't know, fuck, somewhere, I had places to be,
Yeah.
And then like, now it's like, like I'm looking, and now it's like, next thing I know, I blink, and now there's a new like set of people around, and they're all waiting, and I'm like, oh, there's my bus. And like, now the sun's up, and I'm waiting, and I'm like, all right, cool. We got this, I'm like, I'm looking around. I'm like, I got my peers with me. We're getting on this bus, and same shit. I see it, and it's a long light, like that light's a long fucking light. And I blink, and then bam, it passes by again. And it got to the point where like I'm standing on the corner, and a cop comes up and like, cause and they're not like, whatever, they're real cops, but they're not like real cops. They're the Metro cops, they're like opening and shutting down the stations and shit. And they come up and they're like, hey, are you all right? I look at him like, motherfucker, are you all right? But I'm literally standing there, standing up, fucking in such a sick nod, because I've been awake for so long that like I'm standing like this, like bent over completely. Like, those, like, you see that shit on like Street People of Los Angeles or whatever, fucking, tweaking on the weed, like whatever the fucking, those Instagram
You're like,
accounts.
how is he in that position?
Dude, you were in the nod.
Oh yeah, I was one of those guys. That was me.
What about you, Keith? How long? Because I remember you saying that you used to Chef Boyardee the gander, the big shardies.
Well, no, I didn't ever cook it. I always helped friends of mine cook it, but I also
Same.
didn't smoke it. I'd snort it, or I'd do hot rails, or I'd eat it, right?
Hot rails. I'll
Because
talk about our first hot rail experience.
I thought I was a step ahead of everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yes.
really
Yeah.
did. I swear, if I'd have met you guys, I'd be like, "This is smoking. That's fucking gross." You know what I mean? Like,
Yo,
because I had this thing where I'm like, "You're never gonna make any money smoking it," you know, because I thought of it like crack for some reason. But I one time, because it was all, there's so many people making it where I'm from, and
where
this
you
guy
from?
Covina,
Oh yeah,
and
Covina, Baldwin Parque, West Side Covina.
yeah, they fucking this one dude made it. I got out of prison. It's the only shit that's ever made me paranoid, where I'd be peeking out windows and shit. But I'd always stay up like 3 days, maybe approaching 4, and then fall asleep. Like literally, I couldn't. I would try to stay up longer, it just didn't work. But this one time I'd done it, and I was up for. The only way I figured it out is there's like a bicycle swap meet or something. I'm like, hey, are we going there tomorrow? They're like, that was 4 days ago. Like I thought it was like Tuesday and it was Friday or something like that. And I was
Wow.
like, fuck. But I was really, I was apparently like when I talked, it was all scrambled, like blah, blah, blah. I thought I was normal, but nobody could understand what I was saying and shit. So that's my longest.
Usually, when I'm like at fucking, the meth changed, in 2004, 2005, I think was the last of the oil-based crystal meth, like the real nice, nice shit that the fucking Asians were making. And then then
Right.
we got this water-based like Mexican shit after. I remember when the meth changed because when I first started smoking, and I was getting it from these Asian fools that were from a Filipino gang in Atwater called Pinoy Real.
Yeah.
Pinoy Real, right? The Pinoy boys, their homies cooked the fucking oil. And so when I used to smoke the oil from them, I would draw. And I'm a tagger, so like I fucking piece shit, and I'm always drawing. Got like all my colors. So I think I can even chuck up some of the violence and history to the change in the meth because I was pretty. If I would have if they would have kept making the oil, I would have just stayed drawing. You know what I mean?
I see a commercial here. I'm sorry.
Hey,
If you were using meth when it switched over from oil to water in 2005, you may be entitled to a compensation.
straight up.
All freaking Jacoby and Myers, man, and be like, they switched that shit up on me. Gentlemen, I am terribly sorry. I got a split. I got a writer meeting on the Zumbo.
All right.
But Godspeed. Wonderful to see you
Godspeed.
again.
Thank you for
And,
having me.
Yeah.
Much
and
love.
we'll talk tomorrow or whatever.
All right. Bye,
Much
Mike.
love.
All right, fellas. Thank you.
Yeah. Later, Mike.
Bye.
All right, so the Pinoy Real, dude. So now this all makes sense, guys. All of it. I've never thought of it like this. Okay, so when I had the oil-based gander, I would draw. Like I would be at. Oh, check this out.
You draw that?
I commissioned my homegirl to paint this from scratch for me.
No way.
It is a symbol of American hope.
That's amazing.
But no, yeah. So like when I used to smoke, I would just draw and like piece and like fucking make these crazy ass like murals and drawings, like very detailed shit. And I would draw for like 2-3 days straight. And I rolled around with this briefcase and this portfolio of like the sickest drawings and like Prisma colors and demons and shit. And I would be at a party. I remember, dude, I'd smoke. I'd be at a party just drawing like fucking hella on one. And there would be a circle of people around me just watching me like, yo, this dude is drawing, you know? And I'm telling you, the cops kicked everyone out of the party, right? They kicked everyone's gone. The cops are like rolling through the back and I'm still there just drawing. And I'm looking up like, what? And Like then I'm
No
on the
way.
curb drawing outside of the party, you know? And so one day I stopped drawing. I literally smoked meth. I could not draw. I remember that. It was at my homie fucking AWOL's. He's from this crew called OCP. And I just couldn't draw, man. I couldn't draw. And then I started doing fucking burpees and just getting ready to go to prison. Started just doing burpees, fucking working out.
You do speed and do burpees?
Yeah. That's, dude, burpees. I would work out and then I would start pressing other fools for not working out.
No way.
Yeah. I would start pressing fools for not working out. I'm like, oh, we got to be ready, dog. Whoa. Like a rude, just, you know? Yeah, I literally stopped drawing and just started doing burpees and push-ups and lifting weights. And I would make myself eat too. Like I would psych myself out and make myself eat and drink water so that I could do more meth and do more burpees.
Dude, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
So weird. But that's like, water-based shit, man, just turned me into a fucking not productive guy, dude. Productive in like some whole other ways.
My buddy said all that. He said the Mexican dope is awful.
Yeah, dude. That definitely. I stopped drawing, dude. I never drew again.
What's the worst experience you've ever had from drugs?
Ooh.
I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, I blacked out from smoking crack, like full on.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, from smoking a fucking Primo. I smoked a Primo. I was like 17. I was working at the fucking Pacific movie theaters in Culver City, right there in downtown Culver City, next to some Culver Studios, Culver Hotel. And I was working at the movie theaters, and there's like some Culver City fools that lived behind the movie theater, and they sold dope. And I went over there and I fucking smoked a fat Primo, but in a bowl, like a weed bowl. And I came back and all the movie theater personnel were having like a meeting, like in between movies. And I remember I was standing there and shit just started to get fuzzy. Like I started to lose my vision. And I remember it so clearly. I started to lose my vision. And it was like the curtains were closing on a stage. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going blind. And so what I did is I walked away from this like circle of my coworkers, and I tried to make it to the bathroom, and I went completely blind. I went blind, and I was still conscious. And I even remember feeling the wall, looking for the bathroom door. And then I just woke up on the ground. And I was sideways, head looking down the floor sideways. And this dude came up to me. I forget his name, but he was a blood. He's from BPS Jungles. He was like, yo, you cool, my nigga? And I'm like, what happened? He was like, you passed the fuck out and you hit your head on the bench right there. The bench, little waiting bench outside of the bathroom. He's like, let me get you some Coke. Fool ran and grabbed some soda, like straight BPS jungle move, you know what I mean? It's like he knew, And my parents were watching The Last Samurai in theater 13. And
no way.
Yeah, they came out and I fucking got in trouble and they found cocaine in my system. My mom, the movie theater people told my parents that like I blacked out. And then so that was one scary time. I got alcohol poisoning when I was like 15. I just drank so much tequila. But I would say one of the some of the worst experiences in my opinion were like I got a good meth experience. Let me see, I can give you the cliff notes. So there were some armed conflicts that had happened in like West LA. And at the time, we were like pulling strippers. Like we had this whole little operation of like recruiting strippers from the Deja Vus in downtown. It was pretty fucking epic, to be honest. I wanted to fucking kind of touch on this for all bad, but because the duration of the strip club operations started at the beginning of my meth use, right? At the beginning of that first line, right? And when I did that first line at the trap in the office, my little closet office, I still had money, places, a vehicle, you know, like I was cool, you know, and you know, like I had clothes, like I was the guy with the Gucci belts and the, you know, just like living a little rap dream, but smoking a little meth. And we had this operation, this little like kind of like random collaboration of just like weird underworld fucking criminals. And we basically like, our headquarters was at the Deja Vu in downtown LA. And we recruited all these strippers and just like, oh, we had this whole like little network, and they would sell dope for us. Like they would sell coke, you know, like coke and pills and weed and all kinds of shit in the strip club. But two of the girls who they lived in San Diego, and they were like really beautiful too. They lived in San Diego and they would come and dance on the weekends. So like I met them, and this is how I would like pull all of the strip club girls and get them into the fold. Is like, first of all, like I wear glasses, I look nerdy, you know, like I'm not going in there with like a bald head and a mustache. I don't look like no sureño. I go in there looking super like business casual. And I always just give people weed. That was the thing. I was just like, hey, you smoke bud? Or I would have alcohol on me. And that would just be like the segue into like later on, like, hey, like what else do you do? You know, like you want to come to, you know, like I got a house in Venice. And I did at the time. Like I lived in Venice, like a block away from the beach. I had like another spot in Santa Monica. I was pulling up in an Audi fucking A4 2010. Wasn't mine, but still, like I was, you know.
Don't matter.
Yeah, and so
don't matter. You're pulling up in it, baby. It's yours.
And I had money, and I had like a bunch of like really fire cocaine. Like I had like the fucking butter. I had that fish scale shit getting from the Culver City fools, and so that's how I met these two chicks from San Diego, and like I ended up like just completely swooping them and dominating them like mentally. Honestly, like I personally think I saved their lives because like they were like running around with like no direction. Like honestly, I really thought that like they were gonna get killed out there, get killed, because they would kick it with anyone. Like they would meet some guy and go to his like what they did with me, but thank God it was me and not some serial killer. Like I truly thought that these girls were gonna end up like getting murdered, like raped and murdered. Like I 100% like believed that and thought that was gonna happen. Not like, oh, like I came in there fucking with like an archangel and like saved them, but like I provided them a safe place to live and safety, and like, you know, I wasn't gonna let nobody fuck with them. And I had the whole team behind me too, but I moved them. Like literally packed up their shit in a U-Haul in San Diego and moved them into my Venice house as I moved out of the Venice house into my Santa Monica house. And I had them close by. And so they took off to the Bay, where one of the girls was Dakota and Honey. And Dakota's mom lived up there in between Los Gatos and Santa Cruz up in the Redwoods, right? And so they took off over there. Some shit happened. They took off. And then like the other things happened in the neighborhood, and it was hot. And so it was hot. And I was like, fuck, I should probably take off. Like, you know, me and my homeboy Chip. So we take a fucking Greyhound to the Bay. Right. And we're Southsiders, even though like I'm not from a gang, I'm still a Southsider. So we're going to the Bay Area, all Northerners, and we're like fucking fully dodgered out, like ready to catch all fades. Okay. It's so funny. And I remember too, because we, at this point in time, this was the end of the strip club deja vu reign, right? Like I wasn't doing that good anymore. Like when we were catching a greyhound, okay?
Yeah.
Catching a fucking greyhound. I remember we went to the hood and we pressed everybody for money to send us to the fucking bay to go like thaw out and kind of lay low in the redwoods with the two strip arenas. And my homeboy Chips, he's gnarly. Like he comes from like a big Sureño family, and like he like grew up in Venice, and he's just like a huge burly Mexican dude, and he just got the fucking psycho look. I wanna can you post a picture, Danny?
Oh yeah.
Somehow?
Oh yeah.
Anyhow, we get up to the bay though, right?
Mm-hmm.
We get up to the bay, and then when we get there, one of the strip arenas lets us use their car, and we have a little bit of money, and I visit a longtime family friend who ended up like robbing me for like $4,000 because she kept all my money in a safety deposit box. It was super sucked a lot, but whatever, dude. It was all fucking blood money anyways. But we went to go visit her, and we had this little Toyota fucking RAV4, and the picture of Chips is on the left.
Oh wait, my
There's
phone.
two
I don't have
guys.
my phone right now, but we'll pull it up.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
And anyhow, like we get to the bay, I have like a little bit of fucking crystal, but we haven't slept since we left. And we're in San Francisco, driving around, smoking glass, drinking fucking E&J, being weirdos. And then we get stuck. We run out of gas on Los Gatos. And I start pressing everybody I know for money. And I'm like, yo, send me some money or we're going to rob some people and go to jail. Because it was like, dude, if we were to rob anyone in Los Gatos, we were going to jail. Like 100%. It's like the whitest yuppie town I've ever been to. And because the strip arenas fell asleep. I went to bed, though. I passed out in the car. Chips never went to bed. That's the kicker. Chippy the Loke never went to sleep, okay? Chippy the Loke is a savage. He's one of the few homies that like made me a little nervous at times, right? Because I knew that like he's a gunner, but at the same time, like I don't know, he did have that blank look in his eyes that like, and so we're in Los Gatos. He never went to bed, but the girls returned with their mom. With Dakota and her mom came, and somehow she was very supportive of us and like filled up the tank, bought us a shit ton of food, and bought me like cigarettes, a bottle of Jim Beam. Like we went from like being stranded and splitting a pack of Top Ramen, you know? We split a pack of Top Ramen that morning. That evening, she bought us a bunch of steaks, Jim Beam. Like you now know the vibes. Jim Beam, pack of Marlboro Reds, gas full. We were on, and like honestly, I was so stoked. So was Chips. It was like I don't know. We were able to like get through that scenario, and we get back to the cabin in the redwoods, and we're making dinner. We're cooking this big ass fucking meal, dude. Steaks, potatoes, and Chips goes for a walk with Honey, and he leaves me with my girls, Dakota. And we were trying to pimp them out anyways. Like they were down, but like I started just doing way too much meth and I fucked up the whole operation. But I walk outside to tell Chips that the steak is ready, and I find him, and it's all redwoods up there, so it's just cabins, and then like the neighborhood is the forest. And I catch up to Chips. I'm like, hey bro, let's go eat. It's time. And he looks at me and he's like, I fucking told you. And I was like, what? And he just socked me straight up out of nowhere, just clips me in the fucking mouth. And he's like, I don't give a fuck, dog. I told you. And I'm like, yo, bro, chill. you know, and I fucking create the distance that I learned in jiu-jitsu. I created it, and he goes, "Put your fucking hand down." And I was like, "Oh shit, this is not good." He pulls out my shank. Somehow he was able to acquire my knife, pulls it out on me, and he's like, "Come on, let's go over there," you know. And he's like, with his head nudging to like the deep woods. He's like, "Come on, let's go. Fool. Fuck you, homie. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck where your family's from." And he go, "Fuck Sotel." And this is old neighborhood in West LA. He's like, "Fuck Sotel." And he's like, "I fucking told you." And I have no idea. Dude, we were literally hugging like 17 minutes earlier. You know what I mean? And like just high-fiving, you know, like full on like vibing. And he is turned. And so I created enough distance. I was like, "Chill, bro, chill." And honey like somehow like grabs him. And I fucking take off. But he has all the car keys to 2 vehicles. And so now he revamped the meth in me because now I'm paranoid. And Chips is looking for me in the redwoods, okay? And I'm in people's backyards. I'm looking for like an axe or a hammer or something so that I could go meet this fool for battle. Because I don't want to fight him with he got the knife, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm in people's backyards looking for something big. I'm like, "Fucking dude, like I gotta go back over there. I have to have something so this is a little fairer, you know?" It's like the Hunger Games, straight up, dude. I honestly didn't know what to do. I was like, "Oh my God, like, am I about to fucking hitchhike on the freeway? Should I call my mom? You know?" Like this was that time, bro, when I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm going to die." So it took me forever, but I mustered up enough courage and I went back over there and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to just deal with it." And he had went back to the house and Dakota's mom was talking to him and like had calmed him down. I remember this fool was like sitting on his knees like a samurai. And I walked by him in the house. And he just looked at me and he just shook his head. He was just like, and I was like, "Okay." Dakota got the keys. And I didn't know where to go. And now my brain went into full paranoia mode. I thought he was chasing us. And so Dakota drops me back off in Los Gatos, where we started out that morning. I am back in Los Gatos with no vehicle, okay? No chips. I have like $17 and a phone that is about to die, and I set up shop in the Walgreens. And I call my mom. I said, "Mom, I'm ready to come home. Something happened. Can you book me a fucking Greyhound?" And then the closest one is in San Jose. So I would have to walk. This is before MapQuest, guys. It's going to have to walk to San Jose through like northern town. And I'm dressed all in blue. And I'm not going to rank it. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to fucking be a Southsider the whole way.
Right? Walking through like the farmlands and shit.
Yeah, well, there's like neighborhoods, dude. Like full on neighborhoods. So I call my mom, and then Dakota comes back. And I've set up shop in the Walgreens photo area where they have like the booths and the seats, right? I'm there. And like the fucking Walgreens kids is like helping me out and like giving me water and shit. And Dakota comes back. And she's all like, "Hey." I was like, "Wait, what are you doing here?" And she was all like, "Hey, don't be mad at me." I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "But I didn't set you up." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Chips is outside." So Chips is outside, made her, basically kidnapped her and made her take him to me. And I'm now like scared shitless. I'm not going to lie. I was fucking scared for my life. I thought Chips was going to kill me. I didn't have no knife. I have no gun, nothing. And I didn't want to die. And So I like start probing the door in the entrance, and I look out there and I see Chips pacing back and forth with his hands in his pockets, all quiet, smoking a cigarette. And I'm like devising every single plan. Like, I'm about to call a taxi, jump in the taxi. I even try and escape out the back door of the Walgreens, set off an alarm. It takes me to a dead end alley. And I finally tell Dakota, I'm like, yo, go out there and tell Chips that it's all good. I'm gonna go see my friend in San Francisco in the city, and I'll meet back up with him later. I'll tell her that. She's like, hold on, let me go tell him. She goes outside. I'm waiting, literally like skin crawling. I'm sitting on my hands, like don't know what's gonna happen. She comes back and she goes, Chip said no. She goes, Chip said you can come with him to Salinas because he thinks that you're gonna go to San Francisco and get a gun and kill him before he gets a gun and kills you.
No way.
So Chips was just as scared. He thought I was on my way to go get a gun and smoke him because he knew, like, I don't know, it could happen, like I might do that because based off some other shit, and no one died, but still, like, that's what he thought. And so she was like, yeah. So he said no, that the best thing would be for you and him to go to Salinas to his cousin's house. And so finally, like, I just sucked it up and I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm just gonna go out there and get stabbed. And I go out there and I keep my distance. I see Chips. I was just like, what's up? I was like, what's up? And he goes, what's up? And I'm like, I'm looking at him. I'm like, can I have a cigarette? He's like, gives me a cigarette. I stare at him a few more seconds. I was like, you want a beer? He's like, I was like, I'll be right back. I spent that $17 I had on a fucking like 18 pack. And then I went with him to Salinas, and he passed out for 2 days in the car. And he's like,
way.
no, dude. Yeah. He's like, I'm so sorry, bro. I don't even know what happened. He goes, I thought we were in Hollywood. He thought the Redwoods was Hollywood.
Dude, I had a friend like that. I think I've told Danny about him, but so this friend of mine that I grew up with, I don't know if I've talked. I'm sure I've talked about him because he got killed in a shootout with the police about a year ago. I've told you about that, right, Danny?
Yeah.
But so when we were kids, we're like 15, 16 or whatever. We're just drinking and like smoking weed and like, if somebody had, this is in the 80s. If somebody had coke, you'd do it. That was about, you know what I mean? But I remember in probably like 1990, we were at a party at my friend Tim's house, and we're standing there, and dude, it's like we're like doing bumps, and it's just a regular like party. This is like before everything got real terrible. There's people there and girls there and everything, and like we're having a good time, just snorting lines and shit. And Aaron leans over, and he had these crazy furrowed brows, and he leans over, he goes, when the shit goes down, go to my dad's house, he's part of the underground, right? And I'm like, oh man, fuck, you know what I mean? Like real dark, like that weird look on his face. And I tell my other buddy, go, hey, don't give him this shit, man. He's getting fucking weird. You know what I mean? And then like, he was always like violent and shit like that, but whatever. So years go by. I mean, like 3-4 years later, all of us get into meth, right? Well, a bunch of us do. And he's not into it. He's got this girlfriend. He's a carpenter. He's just like smoking weed, but he starts doing the speed with us. And dude, he's just one of them people that's chemically not set up for that shit, coke or speed. So the minute he did it, dude, I mean, one time I'm asleep, he wakes me up, get up, motherfucker, and he's stomping in front of my face. I'm like, what? And he's like, I see you leaving messages to my old lady, all this crazy shit, and I thought I told you this, Danny. He shows me the bottom of a glass ashtray, and he goes, there's a serial number burned in it. And he's like, look at that. Troy's leaving messages to my old lady. Right. And I go, dude, literally. So I had to have another. And I told everybody, I go, man, quit giving him this shit. You know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't like your friend, he's just been up too long. This dude, the minute he did it, he turned into this dude every time. And so I get busted and I'm in the joint. And then when I'm in the joint, somebody tells me, they go, "Oh, Aaron just got fucking stretched out." He had never been to prison before, but he got, I think it was fucking like 12, 15 years or something, you know? And, but because he just, like, he was, you know, the meth just fucked with him. And he went in some dude's house and, like, started cooking a steak. Like, some dude he didn't know or something. They started cooking a steak in the dude's house. The dude came out with a gun. He took the gun from the dude and turned the gun on him and kept, you know, ate the steak while he's holding the gun. All this weird shit. And then it's broad daylight. Then he went outside and the cops had showed up, you know, after he left the house, and they found him like sitting under a tree, like eating pecans or some shit, you know, in broad daylight with a gun in his lap. And he supposedly he picked the gun up and they just rammed it. The cops ran him over with the car and broke his legs and shit. Right. So he gets, he got a lot of time. And then when he, you know, while he was never racist or anything before. When he came out, he was like full on, like with all the, you know, the whole shit, fucking swastika tattoos, all that old bullshit. And he had been out, I think he got out in like 2006 or 2004. He had been out for, you know, like 12, like he got arrested like once or twice, you know, for, I don't know, some other, you know, domestic violence or some shit, but he hadn't been back to prison. And then he got pulled over fucking last year. It was about a year ago in Riverside. He got pulled over for like driving in the diamond lane, you know, with expired plates, I think an expired driver's license. And they pull him over. They're going to tow his car. And his wife's coming to pick him up and shit. And he goes back to the car and he had a fucking chopper in there and he pulled it out and just started. He killed one cop, shot two other ones, I think. Then they killed him, you know.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think he was just at his wit's end. You know what I mean? Like
The carpenter should have never did the gander.
no, dude, I'm telling you, like, there's some other fucking weird shit. Like our friend's dog disappeared, you know, and like, dude, I don't know, 1990 or something, you know, like our friend lived in this trailer park and his dog like disappeared apparently. So anyway, like years go by. We thought like the dog ran away and we're high and shit. And this motherfucker's like, "Hey, I killed that dog." And I'm like, "What?" You know what I mean? Like, he was just a fucking like, I'm telling you, like
He had
never,
some demons on him.
yeah, but I'm telling you that speed, and I'm not blaming it just on the speed. He's obviously a fucked up individual, but the speed affected him unlike it did. You know, like the pH levels in it were probably way off for him. You know how sometimes like girls will do it and they get real weird, you know? And then sometimes girls are pretty normal and the dudes are getting real weird. That's because the pH levels are off. I don't think they're paying attention to that shit anymore, but they did when they saw me here.
I got a homie, Nightmare, Gio, who like, we would do the same dope, right? The same shard would come in. I'd take a hit, he'd take a hit. He would instantly go to straight like conspiracy. There was codes in the Rallies rapper, you know what I mean? Like they were just like, who's listening? Dude, turn off your phone, you know what I mean? Taking SIM cards out.
Yeah.
And that he's like a full-on J-Cat, like crazy person now. But Chips, dude, 2 weeks after we went back to LA together. And 2 weeks later, Chips would get shot in front of me. And Chips took 2 bullets from me, actually.
No way.
Some people had pulled up on us to flex. And we flexed first. But they still got off. And Chips fucking stepped in front of me when this dude was busting out of his car and fucking blasted Chips twice. And Chips survived though. Chips is great, dude. He's in fucking North Dakota with one of the stripperinas. He wiped her up. followed her there. She was, not Honey, not the one that we were in the Bay Area with, but another one. Her name is Ace. We named her the Ace, and Ace was like, dude, she was like from Iowa, like stacked, like a fucking brick shit house, dude, like short, little blonde, and like just beautiful, just titties, ass, like full on, like it was just it was a dream come true. But anyhow, like somehow, and she hated Chips when she met Chips. She was like, "Yo, I don't ever want to fucking work with Chips again. Keep him away from me, you know?
No way.
Yeah, he made her cry, dude, because Chips was mean in the strip club. Like he was cut out for the pimp life. He really was. Like he was mean. First of all, he wasn't like an attractive guy, okay? And then second of all, like he was hella mean to these girls, but like he just knew the biz, you know, and he treated them like a job. And then that girl, Ace, ran off to like Idaho or Iowa or wherever the fuck she was from. And Chips was like not gonna allow her to leave without him because he got her pregnant. Yeah, and he followed her, dude. He just basically stuck people up and robbed people all across the fucking Northwest to get to her because he didn't have any money. Him and my homeboy Woody, yeah, they both fucking just hit licks all across till they made it. And so, but they got 2 beautiful kids now. Like he's working, he's dope. And
that's great.
Yeah, they're married. Like they own a home. You know, like they're Chips and fucking made it. But yeah, 2 weeks after that whole little fiasco in the Bay, we're like, yeah, some fools tried to kill us, and Chip stepped in. He made things right.
Dude, there's this dude. I don't know if I told you this, Danny, but you know, I own this skateboard shop in Covina, you know, and so a lot of the dudes that you know we grew up with and got loaded with, they come by there, right? One is like you're talking about, like the J-Cat. One like, dude, one of them. I don't know if you met him, Danny. I think Brandon met him. But Joel, who was a good friend of ours growing up, he's just been dusted for like 10 years, you know, like completely out to lunch. And he's like a bum with a shopping cart, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, you know, he always comes by the shop asking for money. So the kid working at the shop calls Anthony, my buddy I own it with. He goes, "Hey, dude, your friend Joel's here. He wants to know if you can give him $20. And Anthony goes, "Hey, man," he goes, "Dude, tell Joel Keith doesn't want to come by here if I'm not here. You know, he's got to leave and blah, blah, blah." And Anthony said he hears in the background because the kid tells him, and he hears Joel going, "All right, I've had it with this. I own the deed to this building. Those 2 work for me." You know, he's that far out. Like, I own the
dildo shit.
Yeah, Keith and Anthony, they owe me. I pay them. You know, like all this, he's just fucking dusted, man. It's so sad.
Yeah, no, that happened to my one of my like super active homies. Dude was like super with it, like Sureño, Pinta, prison, like just like dude, he was in good shape. He was like a good burglar, you know, like he was just fucking. I don't know. And he was down too. Like he was a real soldier. And then like the meth just like fucking washed all that shit away. He like wouldn't even commit like real crimes. He would like just take he would just take Amazon packages off people's doors. Like he wasn't robbing no one. He wasn't fucking breaking into cars. He wasn't breaking into houses. And little by little, he just started to lose it and just become like the crazy guy on the street with like one shoe on, no shirt, just yelling, you know? And that's like, yeah. And he would do that same thing because he figured out I had moved back home in sobriety in 2018. I moved back to my mom and dad's for a year, and I had my old room with the same porch, and he still lived in the hood. And when he was already showing up to my window like he used to do when we were kids, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think it happens to a lot of people when they lose it. They like are reduced to the shit that they know when they were like from back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
And he would continue to show up to my window. My parents would tell me, they're like, "Yo, GL came by and he dropped off a coffee machine for you," you know? Because like they knew I was a barista and that he knew that I loved coffee. And he dropped off he would drop off these little stolen gifts. And my parents were like, "Yo, he doesn't live here." And then I moved back. And then one day this motherfucker caught me there. And I was like, "Yo, just so you know, I don't live here." You know? I'm like, "I don't live here. Just visiting. You can't." And once he figured out that I lived there, he would 2-3 times a week, middle of the night, he would come knock on my window. And sometimes he just wanted to smoke a cigarette. Sometimes he couldn't even talk. Like he would just be like, and would just like do these weird things, you know? I got videos and a whole entire folder dedicated to that year.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. Fuck, they're so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, dude, of him in the window.
Oh yeah.
Like really scary. I'm gonna send one good one
All right, tight.
of Nightmare. But he's like my day one homie. Like he lived on the next block. He lived on Helms. Like we did everything together. When we started the crew, he was there. Like I've hurt people for him. And he was just like one of those homies that like was just would give everything he did it for the crew. It was so sad though to watch it, man. He just wanted to like come up, you know, we just wanted to come up and get money so that he could help out the homies. And I saw that, I knew that, you know, but he was also the same homie that like if you had drugs and you didn't give him a hit, he was gonna stab you or like beat you up and like beat your girlfriend
Is he homeless
in front
now?
of you. Yeah, he was homeless, living under the bridge on La Cienega in Venice, and then he caught a case. He got strikes too, all that, and then he caught a case for slapping an old guy. He slapped an old guy and got raided in a tent and just did 9 months in the county. And so he went to his first Zoom meeting last week. He went to Home Alone.
Dude, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But he's still cooked. Like he's burnt, you know, still.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's coming back from that.
Have you ever smoked PCP, Hassan?
I have not.
Oh, interesting.
Did I miss out?
No. Well, Danny
Sure.
did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's something seriously fucking wrong with Danny. Everybody thinks he's all flawless, but anybody who likes PCP, there's an issue with that.
Yeah. The Japanese Jew fucking femme
Dude,
fatale.
I
She
love
loves
that.
PCP.
It's fucked up.
Oh man, have you ever seen a ghost,
Fuck the
Hassan?
internet.
So I have not seen a ghost, but when I was at Phoenix House as a juvenile, it was like a placement facility for youths through the court system in Lakeview Terrace. Now the facility was in an old mental hospital, the same one that they filmed Terminator 2 in, where Sarah Connor's fucking locked up in the psych ward in Terminator 2. So that place was a juvenile facility, and I stayed there. And there were rumors that that place was fucking haunted. And like a lot of the Nigerian staff who worked there would report seeing like women in dresses, like moving through the hallways, like people that would have no reason to make up ghost stories, you know?
Yeah.
And one day I came out of the fucking shower and there was a palm print on the fucking steamed glass, dude, on the mirror.
No way.
Yeah, dude. I seen that, and then I'm pretty sure I saw a cat turn into a raccoon on meth on the block one day. Yeah, it was pretty weird. The cat went into this very small bush, dude. There's no way that there was a cat and a raccoon in the bush. You know what I mean? It was a tiny bush, bro. And this cat went in the bush and came out a raccoon. Okay, I saw that.
No way. That's pretty weird.
God. I saw that one. I was like, yeah, shapeshifters. Jinn. And I've had the sleep paralysis where I've been pinned and choked and my mouth shut where I was unable to speak but awake. I've had that happen to me. Yeah, dude, it was fucked up where like I got pinned in my bed to my bed and I was awake and I was being choked, but whatever entity had pinned me to the bed. And I believe that those entities are the jinn in the Quran. They speak of the jinn, the unseen beings born from the tip of the flame, fire free of smoke. That's like a direct quotation of the definition of the jinn in the Quran, right? There are these unseen beings, and they Like the devil Iblis was a jinn. So jinn in ancient old like Arab folklore were here on earth before humans, and they did really, really bad. Like worse than we're doing now as a species. This species of jinn did really, really bad. But there were good jinn and bad jinn, and now it is like, it is said that the jinn can enter people, so they can enter people, they can shapeshift, and they can be invisible. And they can also take the form of animals. They can also reveal themselves. And it's so funny because I was talking to one of my dad's homeboys, this fool Kiki from Soltel, rest in peace. Kiki is an OG from a West LA gang, and him and my dad grew up together. Me and Kiki shared a cell for like a month in the county. And I didn't know he was my dad's homeboy. Kiki also like killer, like straight bodies. I was explaining to him about the gin, and we were drinking Pruno, and he was like, yo, I fought one of those. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I fought a gin in a motel room. He's like, I mean, I was getting loaded, but my guy, this invisible being grabbed me and started throwing me around the room and fucking me up. And Kiki pulled out a blowtorch and tried to flame the invisible shit. And he said he saw the torch go like around the figure of the jinn. And I knew, dude, that he was telling the truth. Like, this dude didn't have, like, I could see it in his eyes, man. He wasn't bullshitting. Like, that situation happened to him. And so the same, like, I believe it was the same kind, like, same species of entity is the same thing that pinned me to my bed while I was awake. And this was at my mom and dad's house. Pinned me to my bed, and I was trying to yell for my mom, and it shut down my whole vocal. I couldn't even fucking talk. And I was trying to yell for my mom. It was fucking crazy. And I was awake, guys. I was wide awake. And
That's crazy.
Yeah, but so I didn't see its physical form, but I've seen jinn also enter my homies and change their voices and change like their appearance and just shit like that. Like, I could tell when a jinn, and obviously when you do drugs too, you open that portal and that world for other entities to come in, so I could tell when it, but no, I've not seen a ghost in the physical form, but I've been visited by like loved ones who have passed away in dreams. So I've been able to have contact, like direct, like talking messages.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Pretty fucking, like really, really crazy.
Have you read most of the Quran, would you say?
Fuck no. I'm an American Muslim, mainstream. Like my dad's Iranian. He was born here. He's born in 1960. And my grandparents on my dad's side, even though they were Muslim, they didn't raise my dad in a Muslim household. They wanted him to be an American.
Right.
So my grandpa was never around, and my grandma was like a seamstress for Nancy Reagan. Like, she used to like sew her fucking dresses and shit.
Wow.
And my dad joined this old Mexican gang when he was like 12, like 11 or 12. He got from this gang in his neighborhood in West LA.
So where's your dad grow up? Your dad grew up in West LA too?
Yeah, my dad's from West LA. He's from Sotel. I know what
Sotel is. Yeah.
I always clown the name because it sounds like such a paisa ass hood, like Sotel. Like it just sounds so paisa. But my dad's my dad's from Sotel. Like he's from the Pachucos clique, 1970s. They used to call him Nino. And but my dad like grew out of that shit when he was like 18 or 19. It just wasn't like his vibe. He was like cool. He was cool on the fucking heroin in prison, you know? Or he's just like, I'm straight. Like I'm gonna go to school, you know?
Well, I'll tell you something that'll make you feel better. You know, you're talking about Pinoy Real.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I have an uncle who's from there.
You have an uncle from PR?
Yep. Well, I mean, he was from Pinoy Real in the 70s. He lives in
Yeah.
Vegas now. He's 65, I think, now, you know.
Wow.
Mm.
That's crazy.
And he ain't no little bitty Filipino. He's like 6'2".
Yeah.
He's
Dude,
big.
that's so great. Cause the Pinoy Real, people don't know about Pinoy Real, bro. Like them fools were that's a real gang. Like they really,
That
you
whole
know?
area, when I went to high school in Silver Lake in the 80s, in the late 80s, and I've told Danny this before, none of the gangs were like normal shit. Like when I was in prison and juvenile halls and stuff, you know, like the west side is the four corners, right?
Yeah.
Culver City, Santa Monica, 17th Street, Venice. Was that wait, Sotel, Culver City,
Venice and Santa
right?
Monica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But and then you know you have the big ones downtown, 18th Street, Florencia. Then you have the San Gabriel Valley gang, Sanford, and all that shit. But when I got sent to a boys' home in '87, I went to high school in Silver Lake, and
Where'd you go?
Marshall.
No, what boys' home?
I've been the only one I've ever been to, but I've been to 3 different ones. Is Boys Republic.
Boys Republic?
So I've been to the one in Chino twice, the one in Silver Lake once, the one in Orange County once.
Okay.
But I went to high school there, and this is like 87 or 88, and I'm like, I've never heard of any of these fucking gangs. It was like Crazies, you know, CYS or whatever. And it was crazy.
Danny is the leader of the Crazies now. They call that Fumito.
But it was Crazies, Pinoy Real, and I think there was some like tag bangers too, you know.
Frogtown? Was there Frogtown and Silver Lake and fucking Echo Park? Or the
I don't
Rascals?
remember anybody. There could have been. You know what? There was some Tunerville, yeah. There was somebody. There was dudes from Tunerville
around.
Yeah.
The Tuners.
But not a lot. I'm telling you, most of the gang members were in Asian gangs.
Wow.
You know, that I went to high school with. You know, like Crazies, Pinoy Real, maybe Echo Park, but the majority were these Asian gangs, these few Asian gangs. You know, but I'd never been busted with anybody from. The only reason I knew Pinoy Real is because my Uncle Mel.
Right.
He grew up right there by Alexis, you know, behind the Vista.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when that area was like Cheech and Chong and shit, you know, in the 60s and 70s, you know. It wasn't all fancy.
Yeah, I still friends with with Little Demon from Pinoy Real, and his brother was Diablo, and like Silent, this dude Silent was the cook. He smoked himself to death, like his heart.
Literally?
Literally.
I don't know if it was you, Danny, but somebody was telling. I didn't like when I was doing it. It wasn't, you know, it was pretty much a white boy thing, you know, random like black dude, random cholos. But the Asians got really into it. But that was after my time. But,
and Lefty from Pinoy Real, I knew Lefty, and he smoked at Temple Street right there on like either like Sunset Temple or Alvarado, like right around there. Dude, he's coming out of the liquor store, and I knew Lefty too, like little like half white, half Filipino kid. You're just like hella skinny, you know what I mean? Just like kind of nerdy, but like a G from PR. But he lived over there in Filipino town, right? And he was with another chick from fucking from PR. Her name was Straw. I knew Straw. And another PR named Rocky, and they were all coming out of the liquor store, and dude from fucking Temple was all blasted down and fucking banged on Lefty. Was like, hey, where you from? You know, it's my barrio, all that, like Temple Street, and fucking Lefty just blew his dome off right there, and just for that, you know, and got washed up. But it's crazy because like, yeah, the PRs, that whole Atwater. I love Atwater. Like it's such an interesting place
Angelo
to be.
grew up amongst all that shit.
Oh,
yeah. He gave me a full bike tour of the whole barrio of the Rascals and everybody's house and alley and everything.
Yeah, it was fucking live. Shit, I gotta run, guys. I gotta get to bed. I gotta be up in the morning. Thanks, Hassan.
All right. Hey, thank you. Much love.
Yeah,
Thanks,
later,
guys.
Keith. Hassan, you want to plug anything before?
Yeah, I wanna plug All Bad and just shout out the All Bad podcast, Mike and fucking Keith and you, and just like I'm honored and privileged to be here in the chronicles
Oh, dude.
of the podcast. Like, this is it's an honor and a privilege. You got to have some grit in the nails to be on this. So,
Oh, yeah.
I respect that, and just shout out to everybody, all the sober homies who made it, all the homies who didn't make it,
Yeah.
homies and homegirls, homies still out there, and everybody that's locked up. Just much love and be safe, and wishing you happiness, health, love, and freedom. That's it.
Yeah. Dude, I love you, dog. Thank you so much.
I love you too. I'll send you the pictures, all right?
All right, fresh. Dude,
All right.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Much love.
All right,
Late.
Hey, have a good night. Hey, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please like and subscribe. Comment on our post. Let us know what you want to hear. We will be doing a questions and answers episode. So if you have any questions or any shit that you want us to answer, just shoot it to the It Is All Bad Instagram. That is at It Is All Bad. You can find us on Patreon. You could find us on anywhere you listen to your podcasts, and we'll be back with more episodes for you guys very soon. Peace.